students. So here is the continuation part of chapter 1, the French Revolution. In the last video, we talked about that how in 1774, Louis XVI from the Bourbon family ascended the throne and he married to a 20-year-old Austrian princess, Marie Antoinette. But upon his accession, he get to know that the treasures were empty. Along with this, there were costs of maintaining the extravagant court, and um, France also held 13 American colonies to get the freedom from the common enemy, Britain. That's how there was a lot of burden, a lot of debt on the France. So somehow the king increased the taxes to cover up those extra the actual bearers of that, who actually paid those taxes, none other than the third estate. Third estate, which included again for the three groups, that's of the middle and peasants. So we can say the peasants were the actual ones, who were bearing the finances, who were, who took the burden of paying of the taxes. They were paying the feudal taxes to the nobles, along with that, the direct taxes to the church, that's called tithes, and indirect taxes on all the everyday consumption goods such as salt, tobacco. So, the unprivileged class, that's the third estate, particularly peasants, were exploited. And who were the exploiters? That's the nobles, king, queen, members of the royal family, clergy, and as such, the peasants had to pay the taxes directly, indirectly. So somehow, in any kind of society in which there are so many disappointed faces, subsistency cannot be maintained. So now the continuation of the same topic is the struggle to survive. Since the population of the France was increasing, as the data reveals, in 1715, the population was 23 million, which rose to 28 million by 1789. But since the population was increasing, there was not that much rapid increase in the production of food grains. As a result of what happens, the demand of the food grains was increasing because population was increasing, but since the production of the food grains was not increasing, thus what will happen? When there is more demand and the production is less, it will definitely result into the increase in the price of the food grains. And at that time, the staple food for the people of France was bread. So the prices of the bread rose rapidly. People were ready to pay more prices since there was a lot of demand of the bread in comparison to the less supply, in comparison to the less production of the food grains. Now, along with this, most of the workers were employed as laborers in the workshops, but their wages were fixed. As the wages were fixed and the prices of food grains were increasing, so what do you think? What going to be the consequences? If the wages are fixed and the prices of the bread is increasing, then what will happen? It's definitely going to increase the gap between the rich and the poor. Income inequality will increase, particularly at the time of drought or hail, when the harvest production reduced down. The situation in France became worse. It all led to subsistence crisis, which occurred very frequently in France during the old regime. The subsistence crisis is a kind of situation in which the basic means of livelihood, let it be food, are endangered. So let's quickly go through that how subsistence crisis occur because of the bad harvest. There arises scarcity. This ultimately lead to increase in the prices. Now the poor peasant, the poor farmer can no longer buy the bread. This all resulted into the food riots, weaker bodies, and thus the epidemics. Epidemics covered the region. This lead to increased number of deaths. I repeat it. So bad harvest, particularly drought and hail, resulted into increase in the food crisis. Since that's out of range, out of affordability of a poor peasant, that led to more riots and the weaker bodies because of less nutrition, and thus due to the epidemics, large number of deaths occurred.